What's going on, everyone? Anthony here with AC Toys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are reviewing the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wave 11 Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger. Now, I was able to find these at my local Target here in Houston, Texas, so it does seem like they are starting to hit Walmarts and Targets both now. I know that I think it was like last week or so, somebody had found it at Walmart, and then pretty much everyone else has been finding it at Walmart. I think I'm the first one to find it at Target. Not too sure about that. But anyways, I have the figure in hand. As you can see here, it is your typical standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection box. With this artwork right here shows the 6 stripes. He only has the 5. We'll get into that later. Power Rangers Lightning Collection logo at the bottom. Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger. The artwork that continues to the side. The Power Rangers Wild Force logo right there at the top. You have more of the artwork right there. 3D rendering of the figure on the back, blue at the top, legalese at the bottom. Here is the barcode for anybody who needs to scan this at their local Target or Walmart. And yeah, let's go and crack this guy open and see how cool he actually is. So Wild Force is a season that I did not watch at all. I didn't even start it or whatever. It was never on my radar. That is definitely the time where I dropped out of Power Rangers and just saw nothing of it except for the Forever Red episode. That is the only episode of Wild Force I saw, obviously for nostalgia purposes. But here we go. I know a lot of fans that are really into Wild Force have a lot of complaints about the figure. But I'll get into that a little bit. What do you say we go ahead and take a quick look at all his accessories? So obviously he comes with his 2 weapon holding hands on him out of factory or out of packaging. So there you go. This one's more of a gun trigger looking hand. At least the way he's kind of holding it, maybe more posing. And then he kind of comes with his claw hands. So that's pretty cool. I guess they had claws in this season. I don't know. Somebody let me know if this is a thing or if this just messed up molding on my hands. And then you have his weapons, which, once again, I'm not too familiar with. I think it's reminiscent of a pull stick. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. So here it is in, I guess, gun mode or whatever it is, and then in sword mode or pull stick mode. So one of the gripes that most of the fandom seems to be having is that he doesn't come with his holster, which, a fan of the show or not, that's a big thing to miss. Like, where am I supposed to store at least one of these? Where am I supposed to store one of these? I guess obviously in his hand would be the obvious answer, right? For one of them. But then what do you do with the other one? I don't know. So here you go. Just a little closer look right here. It's nicely painted. At least the gold down there is nicely painted. The details is basically molded in an all silver plastic with some gold paint and some blue paint here and there. So not too bad. And then, so it doesn't fall. Sword version, if you guys want to see that. Go, move that to the side. And then he comes with this little lightning effect that we've seen a few times before. There's like a hole in here. Here we go. Just kind of like peg that in, and I don't know. This one doesn't look that great to me. And then here we have his head sculpt. I believe his name is Merrick. So from the screenshots I've seen on Google, this is not too... Oh. Sorry about that. So from the screenshots I've seen on Google, this isn't too bad of a head sculpt. Based off the pictures I've seen, it's not 100%. But go ahead, pull that off. And kind of, there you go. And there you have Merrick on his morphed body. So, pretty cool. Stand up. There we go. So, looks good. Can't complain. Once again, if I had more of a emotional connection to this season, I'd probably be nitpicking a lot more than I am. I do seem to be letting a lot of things slide because I know absolutely nothing about this season. And it shows, right? I don't know what anything is called. So, let's go ahead and get into the details of this figure. So moving on into the details, obviously there are some things that a lot of the fandom is really like not too happy about with this figure. So the first and foremost, obviously, as I mentioned before, he does not have his weapon holster, which out of everything that is wrong with this figure, I think that is the most glaring one of all. Like, how do you miss his holster? And then the next problem, I believe, is that instead of like having 6 gold stripes, he only has 5. Now, I know there is a running change out there. Actually, to be fair, only one person has spotted a 6-stripe variation of this figure. So honestly, for all we know, that one figure probably could have just been messed up and they're all supposed to be 5 and he just happened to get lucky. And for whatever reason, I don't know. It's still very early to tell whether this figure has a running change or not. Some people are calling it a variant. Now, as a collector, I don't just throw the term variant around. So in my opinion, a variant is something done on purpose, whether it's packaging, paint apps, accessories, however you want it, it was done on purpose as a different version of that figure. Now, a running change is where something was messed up in the factory and they had to like send out another set or they had to redo it to correct it. And that is the difference between a variant and a running change. More or less the same thing, but a variant, in my opinion, is something more sought after for inbox collectors or completists. That just need that different thing just a little bit. A running change is something that they messed up and they're trying to fix. But you can call it whatever you will. That is my definition of a variant versus a running change. And the next major detail is that his boots are supposed to be silver and not white. That, I mean, once again, that doesn't bother me too much, I guess. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, and I could definitely see how that could bother a lot of people being a 6th Ranger. 6th Rangers tend to be most of the fandom's favorite Rangers for whatever reason. You know, they're just the cool ones that show up in the half season or later half of the season and, you know, just kind of like wreck shop. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good looking figure. I'm not too picky on this one. Overall, the helmet sculpt looks really good in my opinion. It almost makes me want to go back and watch the season just to see how it actually holds up. And then, oh, I'm just kind of scared if I do, I'm just going to be mad that the things people are mad about are the things I'm going to end up being mad about. You know what I mean? But there we go. I think this is one of the poses I saw on Google. Something like that. So there we go. It's a good looking figure, guys. Whether it have like so many mishaps. I mean, I guess out of all the figures that have come out, this guy seems to have the most, you know, inaccurate stripes, inaccurate boot colors, no holster. Most of the times the things that are wrong with these figures are just little changes that shouldn't really affect you too much. But to have 3 major glaring issues with one figure right off the bat seems like a big deal. But overall, still a great figure. And there is a running change out there that at least fixes the stripe issue. His boots are still white in the 6-stripe one. He still doesn't have the holster in the 6-stripe one. So the only thing that running change has shown off is that they corrected the 5 stripes to 6 stripes. And once again, that has only been one person as of the time of this recording that they have found. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into articulation. So jumping onto articulation, he has your standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection articulation. His head will do full 360, a little bit of side to side. Not too bad on this one. We'll look up a very good amount. We'll look down a really, really good amount actually. Does have the ball jointed shoulders. We'll go out about that far. We'll rotate 360 at the shoulder. Bicep swivels, double jointed elbows, wrist articulation. We'll do full 360, hinges in, hinges out. Butterfly joints at the shoulders. We'll go forward about that far. Really good amount. Back, an okay amount. You have, yeah, really good amount. You have your standard upper diaphragm. So we'll rock side to side, rotate left and right, do full 360 if need be. Without the ab crunch, you'll look down about that far. not too far. Look back a good amount. Then, of course, he has his lower ab crunch. So there you go. Look back an ungodly amount. Then he has ball jointed hips. That is all he can do. This is probably one of the worst Ranger figures I've had that can't really do the splits. These guys really need the standard ball or the drop down hips. But for a Ranger figure, that is unexcusable. But that is all he can do as far as the splits go. Kick forward a good amount. Back, nothing really. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Boot cuff swivel. And Hasbro ankle rockers. Left, right, back, forward. Peg holes at the bottom. So yeah, overall a really good looking figure, really good articulation. I do wish he was pinless. I don't know when the pinless is going to be standard on these figures. Hopefully soon. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into some size comparisons. Okay, so as far as size comparison goes, obviously if you guys remember from my last few videos, I am currently in the middle of a move. I don't know when I'm going to have access to all my figures, but the ones I do have access to are some other Six Rangers in the series. Here we have him next to the first Six Ranger, which is Tommy as the Green Ranger. We have him here next to Zane as the Silver Ranger from In Space. So as you can see, the silver is basically the same silver they use off the In Space silver, which I love is that pearlescent type of silver. It looks really, really good on this figure, in my opinion. It almost just looks like a straight reuse of this body mold, because this is casted in this silver plastic. It's not painted, and it looks like they just took this one and painted some blues on it. So honestly, that's probably why the feet are white. They probably just took it straight from there. Anyways, here he is next to the Phantom Ranger from In Space, and yeah, that is basically it. He is next to your standard size Rangers. No bigger, no smaller. Seeing these two guys side by side, it's pretty blatantly obvious that they just used this exact same body mold, sculpt, whatever you want to call it, for this Ranger figure, which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's a good looking silver. It's just, yeah, that's probably why his boots are white. So yeah, let's jump into final thoughts. So final thoughts on this figure. If there is an official running change on this figure, and there is a 6-striped variant version out there, I would go ahead and hold off and wait for that version. For me, it doesn't honestly matter. It doesn't bother me that much, obviously, because I don't have an emotional attachment to the show. I say that now, but once I get the rest of the Wild Force Rangers and they all have their correct stripes, like I believe White Ranger has a big old gold stripe with no black lines, then black has 2, blue has 3, yellow has 4, red has 5. Obviously, I'm going to be upset when the 6th Ranger doesn't have 6, but only time will tell. Maybe I'll be able to find another one in stores and I'll pick that one up and put this guy back in packaging as a running change variation of him. But yeah, guys, if you can't find him locally, I'll leave links down below on where you can order yours. And until next time, guys, later.